You're now tuning into
The Cover Gang.
What's going on, Cover Gang? We're here to recap our Week 4 picks against the spread and their performance. Man, Tyler, you killed it. It was a sort of an abysmal week for me. I finally went under 500, 7-9, but you're sitting pretty clean at 10-6. Also,
Yeah,
3-1.
all those videos last week, you were like, you're either gonna do really good or really bad, and you was talking junk about a lot of my picks, a lot of my favorite picks, but they hit.
They did. Especially those games we disagreed on. I think I only got the Ravens one right, I think.
Yeah, and at the time we're recording, I mean, I didn't know Deshaun Watson wasn't playing, so that definitely affected things. Ended up not putting as much on that game, but once I heard that news. But yeah, you got the Ravens one, but the other, I think we disagreed on 5, and the other 4 went my way. So it's like that sometimes.
Yep, I guess I deserve it for taking those jabs at you, but hey, we gotta make it entertaining.
The gold plate on this one. The gold plate will be edited on.
It might be bronze or silver, but yeah, we'll get it on there. But yeah, 3-1 in your double unit plays. I mean, you've got to be setting up some good units this week.
Yeah, I done well. I mean, very profitable this week. Some of the games, like I said, we do and make our picks on Wednesday. The double unit play I missed was the Panthers covering, but I didn't know Bryce Young was going to get cleared to play. So same thing. I ended up not putting as much on that game as I intended to. So, but yeah, the Jets game is the most I've put on a single game this year. And shout out to Patrick Mahomes for sliding.
Yeah, for sure. That saved us probably. But we'll jump into these favorite plays of the week first off, and then we'll go to some general takeaways that we had and some disappointments in certain teams. And then, of course, we'll go over our Thursday night pick, which we need to redeem ourselves on because we lost this last week's, but we're getting it right this Thursday. All right, so first up, the favorite play from week 4, I'll go ahead with mine, it was that Stephon Diggs. I mean, he had an amazing performance that game already, but it was the catch where he's going like a go route, and then he faces back, catches the ball, and breaks 2 tackles, and then breakaway touchdown, after the clean broken tackles. So that was my favorite play, and he had a killer game. And the Bills did exactly what we said that they would against the Dolphins. They just smacked them right back down to reality. Showed them who's boss in that division. But what was your favorite play from week 4?
Probably the one I just mentioned, the Patrick Mahomes sliding down at the 1-yard line to get the first down, and me cover on that one. Like I said, that's the most I put on a game so far this year. So once I got it at the 10, but there was maybe a chance that the Jets drive down and score a field goal or something. I still cover, but when he slid and the game was over, I was pretty pumped.
Yeah, definitely lost some money. I saw an article. It was like huge losses for Chiefs bettors because of that play, and they're looking into it. Was it planned or whatever? But it made sense. It was smarter for him to slide, to run the clock out. They still had a chance if he goes in for the touchdown to run it back up. But yeah, we're on the good side of that one. So when I see that article, I'm just like, but not us. But biggest disappointment bet in week 4 for me, it was the Panthers. I mean, they were a clear cover for me all the way through, and then they're down by 8, and they had multiple opportunities to score and give us that backdoor cover, but they can't pull it off. I mean, that team is just atrocious. I don't even know what to think of them. They got a big spread coming up this week. I think it's 8.5, and it's just like I can't. Now that we've lost with them like 2 or 3 times in a row, I'm like, I think it's 2 in a row because they did get that backdoor versus the Saints. But it's like, what do we do with this team?
Yeah, they're playing horrific, and yeah, like I said, the offense just runs better when Bryce Young isn't. But I mean, he's a rookie quarterback, and so you got to give him his snaps out there. But they look horrible on the offensive side of the ball. Against the Vikings too. The Vikings defense is not good. So.
Right, and they had that cover in the bag, and they can't finish. They can't finish. But
yeah, probably the most disappointing one for me was even with the Browns not having Deshaun. I thought, well, no, probably the most disappointing one was last night. Daniel, like, why are we betting on Daniel Jones in
Dude,
prime time? Why do we take that side?
I should have never. I said it was just because
That
of
was
the line, and it was just like
I could have got me to 11-5. I could have got you back to 500. Would have been
they were
okay.
giving
But
out
no.
free money on the Seahawks. I mean, there was nothing to look into too deep. The Giants suck, and we should have taken the Seahawks. Like there wasn't much to look
Yeah,
into there.
that was abysmal, but
Yeah.
it's all right.
All right, but some general takeaways I had. We'll go over that real quick, and then we'll do the Thursday night pick. But Cincinnati, man, are they in trouble? Do they miss the playoffs? I checked their odds, and now it's sitting at minus 250 for them to miss.
Mm.
What do you think?
They go into Arizona this week, so I don't know. Like I said, I could see them stringing some. I wonder when their bye week is. It's the first week of byes, but they don't have a bye this week, obviously. I don't know, man. Joe Burrow, like I said, he's just not being able to step back on that uh, his back foot and launch the ball. So they need to heal him up. But it's when you're 1-3 and though you're playing the Cardinals, you got to put them out there. So I don't know. I have faith that the Bengals will get on a run going down the stretch and still have a good chance of making the playoffs. But the AFC, it's tough. It's a lot of good teams. A lot of good teams can be fighting for it at the end. So yeah, they're not in a good position right now, especially in that division.
Based on the odds, it seems like it's safer to say that they do miss the playoffs at this point. But it's hard to catch back up once you're so behind in that conference. But another surprise for me was the Bucks, and we can't get a right read on this team. We fade them versus the last week versus the Saints, but then the week prior we took them in the sharp spot, or what we thought was sharp, on the Eagles. It's like we can't get a feel for this team. Their defense played really well, and got to figure out this.
Yeah, 3-1, winning the division right now.
Who would have guessed it? Not me.
Yeah, I don't know. He's playing good ball right now, though, and they got a decent defense, good receivers. I mean, bad division.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I still don't. Down the stretch, I think the Saints or Falcons will end up taking it. But they're playing good ball right now. There's no doubt.
That's my next takeaway is the Falcons, man. They are disappointing. They have no pass offense. I mean, they're using Bijan brilliantly, I think. Like they're so efficient with him. Every touch he gains 5 or 6 yards. Every pass he's gaining yards. They don't overuse him. He puts them in great field advantage. And then Desmond Ridder just cannot finish or cannot throw a great ball, and they have zero pass offense. I mean, they would be a lot better if they had that dynamic, but I don't know. That's another team that's pretty tough to figure out, I think, is the Falcons right now.
Yeah, I mean, some of these quarterbacks, I mean, like I said, Bryce Young, Jordan Love even, I mean, they're having growing pains in the first few weeks of the season. So I think the Falcons will start to click, and like I said, they play in a bad division, really easy schedule down the stretch. So, but yeah, Ridder, they definitely look like they're drafting a quarterback next year.
For sure. And speaking of quarterbacks, Zach Wilson, he kind of showed a little.
Bought himself another week.
Yeah, he did. He really did this time though. Like he showed a little spunk. I mean, he had a presence in that game. I mean, I think the stat was that he finished with a better QBR than Patrick Mahomes, and that's the first time in Mahomes' career or something like that. But I watched it, and he looked pretty dialed in, the most dialed in I've ever seen him, to be honest. But
it was good seeing Aaron on the sideline and stuff too. Just a few weeks after coming off that surgery, I mean, it's good to see him. I mean, he's got crutches, but he's walking around pretty good. So who knows? Maybe Zach ends up rattling off a couple wins. I think they play Denver this coming up week, so that'll be. Oof, I don't know where we'll be on that one, but yeah, if he can keep him in it, maybe Aaron comes back, plays the last couple weeks of the season, tries to make a playoff push or something. I mean, they were 1-3, but Chargers 2-2. We just talk about the Bengals. It's anybody's game still.
Yeah, and then the last general takeaway I had is Belichick. Is he over the hump? I mean, was this his worst loss ever? Do you think, or one of his worst losses?
Yeah, I think it's one of them. Like that defense couldn't stop Dallas, and that's what I said. That's why I went with the Cowboys. But yeah, what they are trying to do offensively, it's just not going to be a whole lot. So, like I said, the Cowboys, they played bad last week against the Cardinals. That defense had something to prove at home. It was over at halftime. I mean, but Belichick, like I said, I still think the Patriots will be in some games that they shouldn't be in, and they'll get some wins. But I don't think it's a playoff team, and they might be looking for a quarterback as far as the draft time comes too. So
Yep, it was interesting. He's there. The Belichick said that he's still QB1, which he'll do that. He'll just straight bench you.
yeah,
Really doesn't instill confidence in a young quarterback, does it? But hey, he's a tough coach to play for. But all right, let's get into this Thursday night football look ahead pick. We got the Bears at the Commanders. The Bears covered for us. They almost put the Broncos out of their misery again, but then the Bears went and pulled a Bears. They blew the lead. They blew
Bears
the
are the
lead.
Bears.
Yep. So the line has been around 6.5 and 7. I think it's sitting at 6.5. Best you can get right now. Who do you got?
Yeah, I am going to take the Bears and the points. Definitely not one of my favorite plays of the weekend. Half unit play. Um, this Commanders' offensive line is not the best. I think they're a little overvalued playing Philadelphia as well as they did last week. So, and I think Justin Fields can put up some points against this Washington defense. Like I said, I usually lean towards the home side, but yeah, 7 points is a lot with, like I said, two offenses that aren't that proven right now. And even though Chicago's defense isn't that good, I think that they'll be able to generate somewhat of a pass rush against this not looking good at all offensive line for Washington. So yeah, give me the Bears again, but half unit play again.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. There's no way I'm taking Washington as favorites of 6 versus probably anyone.
I think the bets are coming in pretty normal on both sides too. So I don't think you really have an edge there as far as I heard a stat earlier today. So far through the first 4 weeks, the public is like when 51% of the bets or more come in on a side, they're like 33 and 24 and 1. So the past 5 years, that has not been the case. They've been on the losing side. So
Right. And
that's probably give you a little preview on where I'm going to be on a lot of these games this weekend. I will be fading the public.
It's called reverse to the mean, huh? Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's I think Vegas is gonna get something figured out for that real quick and adjust those lines accordingly, and that'll be nice for us because that'll probably mean some large underdog numbers that we can take. But um, yeah, you got to take the points in this kind of matchup. It's brutal. Definitely a half unit play kind of game because you can see a world where Washington can cover the 6.5. Bears are just that bad. So take the points though in this matchup where you're not really sure. It's the better side to be on for sure. But that's all we got for the recap. Make sure to tune in to our early game picks and our primetime picks and smash the like button if you're ready for week 5 cover gang action. Tune in Wednesday night. We're dropping it. We're covering every game every week. Thanks for watching as always. Let's cover the spread. Peace.
Peace.